Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Overland and Chelsea. I'm here. I was going to say I'm your host, but we're kind of like co-hosts, so I felt weird saying that. It's me and Matisse here. We do this every single week, and there's so much to talk about. Matisse, how's it going?
It's been good. It's been good. Busy. Good to be back with the games, and we obviously won a whole trophy since we last spoke. Played 2 whole games. And then on top of that, then we got some chatty patties in the media that are talking as well. I seen the comments there section. Big up to you guys there. So we got a lot going on. And then now it's nice because we've got like a whole week where Chelsea just like recuperate. We got Palace on Saturday. Some good Champions League football tonight. So we kind of just get to just reflect and just chill a little bit without another match in midweek to scare us. Obviously, the Premier League is kind of like done, but the gap's nuts. So yeah. Still got loads to fight for though for the rest of the season. So yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, lot to talk about. So I do want to start with the Club World Cup since we haven't chatted since last week. How did you find the game? How did you find the win?
I think both games were obviously difficult. We didn't exactly walk over them, and it's not really surprising. I did the homework on Palmeiras. Thankfully, I had a lovely guest in Filippo for the preview. He gave me the rundown on their team, how they were going to set up, what to expect. And the game went exactly how, we spoke about and predicted. I went with a 2-1 in extra time. I knew that they were going to drag us all the way to the end, just with the style of play, how much the game means to them as well, in terms of, in their country, in Brazil. It's the last trophy that they haven't won yet. They was in the Club World Cup last year, lost to Tigers in the semi-final. So it's a big deal for them to try and win that trophy. So they were always going to give it 110%. Luckily, we managed to just override them, dominate as time went on, and then pick up the win. But it was always going to be a slugfest for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think just like without Reece and Ben, it's like so difficult, really. And I can't think of any performance, maybe against Liverpool, but off the top of my head, I can't think of any performance where I said, "Oh wow, like we really played superbly," like since they've gotten injured, in my opinion. And
Yeah.
I think that we're just kind of struggling to create. And I think like we are trying to play more to Lukaku's system, but we're still a couple of gears off from finding like how to get the best out of Lukaku, how the team can kind of play. And I think if you have those wing backs that are going to put in those rounds and who are going to put in balls, maybe that's kind of like the thing that we need to click. But we're not going to have that. Reece is close to being back-ish, I think, but Ben nowhere near. How do you think that we can like cope with that and kind of like grind out results for the rest of the season?
The team's going to be so lopsided. I'm not going to lie. When Reece does come back, which is hopefully in maybe 2 weeks, we can maybe look for something similar to that timeline. The team is going to be lopsided. We know that Reece is way superior to Alonso, to Malang Sarr on that left-hand side, to Kennedy. Whoever starts out there is going to be very inferior to this man. So we know his ability, his crossing, his shooting even as well, passing range. Just as a footballer, he's just stratosphere clear of everything on that left. So we know it's going to be lopsided. We're going to go down the right very often, heavily, as we probably should. And the only thing I will say is that I'm looking forward to, if Lukaku does keep starting, he hasn't really had much time to play with Reece. He played with Reece against Arsenal. I haven't been impressed with Lukaku recently, but at least he contributed to the games with the goals. That was a good step forward. I thought he was better against Palmeiras in comparison to the Al Hilal performance. And Reece James is a great crosser of the ball. So if Lukaku's on his toes, which he's going to need to be, he's going to need to be a little bit more lively in the box in terms of his movement. Reece James's crossing accuracy and delivery is brilliant. So if you can't like get goals with Reece James delivery, then there's a big problem, because Reece James delivery is so good. Like it's
so good.
It's so good. His delivery is always, accurate, got a lot of pace on it. He's a good variety of crosses as well. He doesn't just give you the same type of cross if it's not working. So he's one of the best chance creators you could find from right back, up there with, obviously your Trents and Cancelos and all these other guys at the start of the season before the injury. So if you can't get goals with Reece James, is a problem. It's just the left, the biggest crutch in this team, and why I don't think we're going to, unfortunately, do the Champions League back-to-back it's difficult to do anyway. You need a fully fit team. But when you've got someone as good as Chilwell missing, it's just not the same over there. I think we're going to get exposed over there at some point against top winger. Will probably, you know, cost us a game potentially with either Alonso, lack of pace. He didn't even play against Palmeiras because one of the big threats for Palmeiras was transitions, was counters, was sitting back and waiting to dispossess us and then just completely go crazy, right? With Ronnie and Dudu and all these guys. And because Alonso's not quick, they didn't start him. And I thought that was deafening, you know. Hudson-Odoi is not a left wing back. He still starts ahead of him. Malang Sarr starts at left back ahead of him against Tottenham. And Kennedy, we brought him back. I don't know if we're going to use him, but the fact that we even had to bring him back just goes to show that this position is not very strong. So I was speaking to the Palmeiras fan. He's saying that Kennedy wouldn't even start for them. So it's mad.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I think it like speaks a lot that we are not that I don't know if it necessarily speaks a lot, but that you see that all these players start ahead of Alonso. I think it says like there's a clear weakness in that side. No, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Alonso at all, but he's just not the player that he was a couple of years ago. I personally like, I think in the short term, we don't play anybody super big except for Liverpool in the Cup final. Yeah. But I know like Callum is playing out of position if we do play a wing back. But I thought that he did pretty good against Palmeiras. And yes, it is Palmeiras, but he did put in a really good ball. And maybe he gives you something like a little bit more attacking option down that left-hand side than Marcos Alonso might. And he's fast.
Yeah, that's true. And the thing is with Hudson-Odoi is that his end product is very wishy-washy a bit. His finishing's poor. He did have a lot of overhit crosses against Palmeiras, but he then gets the assist, the left foot cross, which was inch perfect, which is funnily enough because he's obviously right-footed. All the right-footed crosses were overhit. And then the left-footed one is the one that is inch perfect for Lukaku's forehead. So it's mad. But I have to say, you know, I would probably take a look at him there because his finishing is not great. So he is further away from goal. He's not gonna get the opportunity to shoot so much from left wing back, probably as much as he would at left wing. But even still, you know, if we're talking about the biggest games, obviously we know Liverpool's the big game in the cup final. Mohamed Salah operates down that side. Trent. We don't have City again or Liverpool in the league, which is great. But we do still have obviously United. Yeah, it's not really a great team right now. Tottenham, not great either. No real big teams left actually. You're right. So, but Hudson-Odoi defensively 1v1, will he be able to cope in the Champions League? Probably not. You know, over there. Yeah. So that's going to be the Achilles heel. But we should still be able to see the season out with some sort of respectable third place. It's just we're not. I don't think we're going to pull up any trees in the Champions League with that left-hand side looking like that.
It's something that makes me so mad. I feel like we've talked about this before, but like everybody's like, oh, Chelsea are playing so poorly this season. It's like, yeah, two of our most important players are out. Like, what do you expect? Like, if any team had their two of their arguably best players out, like they would struggle too. It just makes sense. I do want to get to this super chat, like $5. I think this is like the most I've ever received, which is ridiculous. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Feel free to message me. I'm not like so big on Real Madrid. I'm very Chelsea focused. I just live in Madrid. I am trying to watch La Liga more, but not sure how much I'll be able to provide. And I'm not like subject expert, but feel free to message me. That's totally fine. So one of the things I wanted to talk about is like, do you think that Lukaku is getting enough service? Because we saw that with Callum, he put in like a really good cross. He got the header. Do you think that that's the fault of like the midfielders who are playing? I noticed like a lot of times we're passing backwards because especially against Palmeiras, they crowded the midfield. So the only option was to go backward or play wide. And that's kind of like the struggle that we face against low block teams in the Premier League as well. It's the same thing. So who do you think that comes down to? And like, how can we get the best out of him?
We don't really have the most creative attackers. I'm not going to lie, you know, in terms of passing range, there's no Cesc Fabregas. There's no Juan Mata. There's no player of that level. Hazard even. There's no player of that level. Ziyech is probably the most creative passer in the team. Followed by Kova, actually, who's very progressive with his passing this season. Hudson-Odoi's got a cross in him, as we can see, you know, but it's inconsistent. And then the other players are different types of chance creators, like Pulisic, who rather play the ball short and maybe do 1-2s and, you know, and things like that, maybe running behind. So we don't have the best creators, I must say. However, sometimes we do create a lot, like against Tottenham at home, created a bundle of chances that game. Plymouth, loads of chances. And sometimes we won't. You know, it's not possible every game to create loads of chances. We have to look at the opposition and say sometimes defensively they're going to be set up very well. Palmeiras are one of those sides. They were always going to frustrate us. We was never going to have 10 shots flying on goal in the first half or even in the first, you know, 90s, 10 shots on target or anything. They simply were never going to allow that. So, you know, I always go back to a top striker. Look at Diego Costa, West Brom at home. Starved, no chances whatsoever in that title winning season, but you give him one chance, he gets to the corner flag, he fights, he wins the duel, he cuts back inside, left foot, tight angle, top corner. That's what top strikers have to do sometimes for their teams. It's not every day you're going to get, you know, someone in the kitchen cooking 3 meals for you and then dessert, and, you know, now you got a second starter if you wish, and now we're going to just... No, not every day. Sometimes there's no ingredients and we didn't go food shopping and you're just going to have baked beans. That's just the way it goes. And Lukaku needs to learn to eat whatever's in front of him sometimes, you know? So I don't want to create too many excuses. I don't really have many excuses for him, to be honest. I think he took his chance. He got 2 goals in 2 games, which is good. Now he just needs to translate that to the Prem. Some games he's going to have loads of chances. Some games he's not. We can be better from a creative standpoint, but he can also be better as a striker with his movement and finishing in the box. So yeah, that's how I feel.
100%. And I do feel like he seemed to play a little bit better after the goals. Like, I thought that he looked like he had a little bit more movement, like it kind of gave him some confidence. And I also thought that he played better with Havertz in the team. Like, I think that a lot of people have been saying Havertz for Lukaku, but it's like, can be Havertz and Lukaku. There's no reason why they can't play together. There's been, you kind of mentioned it at the start, there's been like a lot of talk on social media about like this cup winning nothing, being nothing because, you know, Man City are 16 points ahead in the league and blah, blah, blah. And Azpi is not a good footballer and it's lucky to be at Chelsea. Like, what the hell? You know that I like would fall on a sword defending Azpi.
I knew you'd see that and get very annoyed. So I'm glad you brought it up.
I got so riled. I can't even tell you. And I think that my response was very pointed. I replied to TalkSport and I replied to ESPN, basically saying he's been one of the most consistent players for the better part of decades. Like, are you joking?
Azpi, you know, these comments, man, it's like, I have to assume that you're trolling, you know what I'm saying, as a pundit, or whatever, not even a pundit, right? As a former manager, even more embarrassing. I have to, because if you're looking for, look, if you're looking, we'll start with the Warnock one, the Azpi disrespect. If you're looking for a job again in football, you've probably blown it now, because now everybody knows you don't know football. Now everybody knows you don't know ball. You know,
I wanted to be like, hey, TalkSport, if you want somebody who knows about Azpi, like, feel free to hit me up because I'll be able to give you.
But I'm not going to name any names, but I did speak with, because I do know a few of them at TalkSport, and I did DM one of the pundits on there, and I messaged him the tweet, and I said, what is this crap? And even he was like, that's a wild opinion. It's pretty shit. I'm not going to lie. Now, like I said, you know, this is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? It's like, bro, what you said there, like, you can only be so controversial before you look stupid. Do you know what I mean? There is levels to this. And like I said, if you're a former manager and you're saying that, you can't really come back into the game, to be honest. You have to stay outside in the doghouse, because what you said there was stupid. Like, nobody can take that comment seriously. Not the biggest trolls, even on Twitter. Shout out United Trey. He would never say anything like that. He wouldn't. Even he wouldn't say something as silly as that. He wouldn't. Everybody's got the common decency and respect to know that Azpi is a top player, and you don't need to even try and drag his name into the mud. You don't need to even try and for a second think that he's been lucky for 10 years in 4 positions under like 5 or 6 managers. Like, bro, don't just we don't even have to pull out statistics. That's the brilliant thing here. We just have to just show his trophy cabinet, show how consistent he's been as a starter, how many games he's played, show the positions he's played in, talk to Mourinho, who's actually a top manager back then, not this guy, yeah, who said if you have 11 Aspies, you can win the Champions League. Played him at left back over an actual left back, Felipe Luis, who started at Atletico Madrid the year before and got to a semi-final of the Champions League. And he kept him out of the team at left back as a right footer. Bruh, I could be here all day. We don't even, it's certain things, Ellie, are just silly people. And Chris Burley, listen, I've spoken to ESPN journalists, not you though. I haven't spoken to you. What? Come on now. Let's not be too elitist about it. Club World Cup, is it as prestigious as the Champions League for European clubs? Of course not. But how do you get to that competition? You have to win the Champions League. Is the Champions League easy to win? No, it's not. So you have to put some respect on a competition that you barely get into as a football club. Most football clubs barely get into it unless you're Real Madrid and you just stat pad Champions League like freaks. Everybody else, nobody else can say we're in the Club World Cup every year or every couple of years and it's really easy. And no, nobody's stat padding Club World Cups. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not easy to get there. The amount of work you have to do to get there is massive. We beat Man City to get there. So when they're saying you only beat Al Hilal and Palmeiras to win it, no, we beat Rennes, we beat Krasnodar, we beat Porto, Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, and Man City. And I think I'm missing one team. So
I think Villarreal was Sevilla.
Sevilla, there you go. So we beat a lot more teams to get there, because that's the only way we could have got there. And yeah, I just think it's a bit disrespectful to say that the competition is garbage. I saw they said the same thing. I think Jeff Sterling said the same thing on Saturday's show. Like, Palmeiras fans, if you see the way they're reacting outside the game and in Brazil, the way they're talking about it, it's a big thing for them. It's a big thing for all the other continents. So, I think when it means that much to some other teams, and I don't see why it wouldn't mean a lot to us as well. Because for me, football is part and parcel with who you're playing. If it means a hell of a lot to them, in most situations, then you got to take it seriously, in my opinion, because we're all football clubs. We all, everybody started from being founded one day by somebody and a group of supporters, and then we all rise in different ways, certain amount of money and whatnot. But at the end of the day, everybody's just a football club. Do you know what I mean? And trophies are trophies. You pick them up, they go on Wikipedia. It's a great list. That's great.
I just find it like even more ironic that he's like, "Oh, City are ahead of you in the league." It's like, yeah, but we beat City to get to this.
Yeah.
I can't speak today. I keep mixing up cup and club. I don't know why my brain is happening. I do want to say thank you super quickly for the super chat. I really appreciate it. That's so nice. Yeah. I don't know if we're going to win back-to-back champions. I think if Ben Chilwell and Reece James were injured, we would have a chance, even though it's so difficult to do. But without them, I don't see it happening. I am not feeling too optimistic. But speaking of the champions, there is probably the biggest game of the round of 16, at least the first leg, on today. PSG versus Real Madrid. I do have a preview out with my friend Rodrigo, guys. He's a Real Madrid fan, so he offers that perspective. And it's like 20-ish minutes in case you want to watch it before the game. And it came out really good. But we are going to talk about it a bit now as well. Who are you favoring in this match? I feel like it could go either way.
It's tough, I think I'll go with a draw. I know it's a cop out, but it is just I just can't wait to watch it. It's gonna be very, very tight. I feel like, I just cop out and go a draw. It's so hard to predict because there's so many stars. Anybody could turn the lights on at any moment and something could happen. So it's just one of those games, isn't it? It's just whoever turns up, whoever's best players decide that they're feeling it today. It could go either way. What about you?
And the game starts at 9 my time. I think.
They want me to pick a winner, bro. I'm sitting on the fence, bro. And Jeff Sterling is he's the presenter for Gillette Soccer Special. He's a presenter.
So the starting 11s will come out by the end of this stream, but I think like one of the big talking points is who's going to start and if Neymar and Benzema are fit.
Yeah,
I know.
I hope all the biggest names are there. Yeah,
I know. But I would argue, and maybe this is a bit controversial, but I would argue that PSG probably play better without Neymar, and you have Di Maria in there because
Okay.
he's somebody who's going to like I think he's somebody who's not going to try to be the star, but trying
Yeah.
to put the team forward and pick out passes, maybe track back a little bit. And he's like
The tracking back, is it? Yeah. Yeah.
cohesive. He's
Yeah.
like super cohesive between the midfield and the attack. And I think with Neymar, Messi, and Mbappe, you have on paper probably like the best front three ever. But like, how well can they actually play together when they're all used to being the star? That's kind of like the question that I had since the start of the season. But what do you think? Am I talking shit?
No, you're not. You're not. I don't watch PSG actually that often, which is a shame. I need to watch them a bit more, especially in this Champions League run towards the end of the season. I haven't watched them in a few months, but I think when it comes to PSG, you're right to an extent. Is that when they played Man City, they had all three of them, and the tracking back was awful. I just saw even the screenshots of them three on the halfway line, not tracking back. It's like defending with 8 men, including the goalkeeper. It's awful. So I do agree with you. Off the ball, you know, the balance, Di Maria will work a lot harder to get back into shape. So maybe you end up being in a 4-4-2 out of possession. It's a little bit more compact, you know, to break down. Because Real Madrid are a team you have to respect. Obviously, they've got great players. Can't afford to just have everybody lingering up at the top end of the pitch. And I think that's something Poch is struggling with. So, yeah, I do agree. I think Di Maria off the ball is definitely going to bring a lot more than Neymar. On the ball, I still believe, obviously, Neymar's the better player. You know, he's a great chance creator, a brilliant passer. You know, I think his shooting actually could be a bit better at times. I think for me, Neymar should get more goals than he probably does. He's just Neymar is such a strange player because as great as he is, I kind of expected him to be like the GOAT at some point.
Yeah.
You know, I expected him to be picking up Ballon d'Ors. I expected him to be like that's the kind of hype that he had at Santos and at Barcelona, you know, when he went there. Obviously, Messi and Ronaldo are freaks and they were always going to dominate. But now that they're not dominating, like the last couple of years, you can say Lewandowski was the best player in the world. You know, they're not really top two now. I don't think either of them are top two players in the world at all. Probably out of top three as well. I expected Neymar to be the guy right now taking advantage of their decline. And Neymar, in my opinion, right now, I expect him to be taking some Ballon d'Ors for the next 2-3 years to assert himself as the best player in the world before he starts to decline through injuries. Obviously, the injuries definitely hurt him. You're spot on, AJ. And that's not his fault. You know, injuries happen. But it's just a shame. I think as great as he is, he could have gone to another level of just like pure dominance. But it is what it is. He's still a great player.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I felt about him as well. That he was like hyped to be like maybe not the next because there's nobody that's going to compare to Ronaldo and Messi, I think, but like just like a smidge tier below. And I haven't. We've seen it, but again, not recently in the past couple of years. I think a lot of people are saying in the comments that Benzema is probably going to start. It will be interesting because yesterday on my channel, Rodrigo said, yeah, he has scored a lot of goals, and Madrid don't look like scoring so much when he's not on the pitch, that they've struggled to score goals in the past couple of games. So you can see that they've drawn or just scored like one goal when he's not on the pitch. But do you think that it could, like, do you think it's a good idea playing him because maybe half fit Benzema is better than, I don't know, like, who is their striker? Jovic?
Jovic, sorry.
Jovic, or playing like Asensio false nine, Hazard false nine, or do you think that maybe if he's coming back from injury, it could like holds them back a little bit?
Oh, that's you know, that's all with the medical team because they're the ones that are calculating that risk assessment at the end of the day before you give him the all clear, give him the green light. You got to calculate the risk to reward. And obviously he's a great player. But the last thing, like you said, you want is him to go and pull up again, maybe with another injury, and then you suddenly miss him for the second leg, which is going to be more decisive than the first. Because I do think the first leg will be tight. Whoever wins 2-1, maybe 2-2, I don't think it'll be a walkover. So I do think the second leg is crucial in this tie, and you got to take care of him because he's a top player. He's one of their best, if not their best, to be honest. In terms of all round game, he's ridiculous. So. Yeah, you gotta protect Benzema, but that's the medical. They're gonna live and die by that decision. If it goes well tonight and he gets out unscathed and they win or they get a good result, then it's all good. If he comes up holding, I don't know what the injury was, but if he comes out with, pulling up with an injury, then it could be massive for them, because I think if you're talking about a player that they can't afford to not have, I think Benzema's the player. I think they could get away with missing one of Kroos or Modric. I think they could get away with missing pretty much everyone else to a degree for a short period of time. Vinicius has obviously been brilliant. You would never want to miss him, but I think you'd be able to cope. If you miss Benzema, who is the captain, the focal point of the team, the epicenter, the guy at the top of the pitch that links everything, connects everything up together, the experience, the know-how. I think if you lose all of that and you start relying upon, in the Champions League, Hazard, Bale, Asensio, players like this, I don't think you're going very far. So, yeah, Benzema's crucial for them.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see how it plays out. I'm so excited for this game. Like,
yeah, same.
When the redraw happened, I was like, this is going to be the game. Who do you think this is a bigger deal for, PSG or Real Madrid?
I think, yeah, for sure it's for PSG. I think Real Madrid are so draped in Champions League history that they're never really under. I mean, obviously now their supporters will completely disagree with me. Real Madrid every year, you're under pressure to win the Champions League. But from an outside perspective, I never put pressure on Real Madrid to win the Champions League because they've won it so often. Like, if they don't win it this year, they'll be back next year. And they will win it at some point because they're just the Champions League kings, So I don't think they're under pressure to do it. Obviously, they want to do it. Ancelotti will want to do it, but they're not under pressure. PSG are under huge pressure because they spent all this money. They had the summer. They had the 5 guys lined up like it was FIFA Ultimate Team: Donnarumma, Sergio Ramos, Hakimi, Messi, Wijnaldum. They had everybody lined up, on the stage. Assembles. It was like Avengers Assemble, right? And then if they don't win the Champions League, with a lot of those players being at the pinnacle of their career, Messi's not going to get any better. He's definitely peaked. Sergio Ramos is probably not going to get any better with his injuries. He's peaked. The other 3, Wijnaldum was available, I think, for loan on January, so I'm not sure what happened there. Donnarumma and Hakimi will be fine. They're young, but the point is that, Mbappe's leaving. This is the best chance for them to win it in terms of their team. Mbappe's probably going to go to Real Madrid next this summer. Erling Haaland could go to Real Madrid. Pogba could go to Real Madrid. Real Madrid, this is why I don't put much pressure on them, because Real Madrid are going to assemble a super team again. Pogba's available on a free. Mbappe's available on a free. Erling Haaland, I could see them going for, maybe because Benzema, it might cause a bit of an issue, but point is they're gonna build something special again, and PSG, they need to take advantage of the fact that they put this team together, whether it makes sense or not. They need to make it win. So they're under huge pressure, way more pressure than Real Madrid, I think.
I can't believe that Mbappe is going to leave on a free. Like, I find that mad that they let that happen, personally. And so maybe they're like, well, we have a ton of money, so it doesn't matter. I don't know. Like, I find that
they rejected money in the summer, didn't they? Real Madrid were bidding, I think 140 they went up to.
It was it was like crazy money. You said that in rank. That's what I immediately thought of. AJ said PSG under more pressure than City, because we know that that's kind of like the thing that's always eluded Pep as well, winning the Champions League. I'm so glad that Chelsea won it when we beat them. But yeah, a lot of people were saying, like you said, when they brought all these players in, like, if they don't win it this year, when are they going to win it? Because they have arguably on paper, like, maybe one of the best teams, if not the best team in the world, with the attack that they have with Hakimi in defense. They have Verratti in the midfield, Di Maria as well. They have a slew of talent. So let's see what happens. I'm super excited. I got so many super chats that, like, I can't freaking believe it, guys. Thank you for the support. It means a lot. NS Sports said, would either of you take Gavi at Chelsea? Plays for Atletico. I haven't seen him.
Is this the Barcelona guy?
I thought he played for Atletico. Oh no, maybe Barcelona.
Gavi. Yeah, Barcelona. They're talking about
Barcelona,
Gavi, Pedri. Gavi, Pedri, Fati, but he's injury prone. Look, to be honest, if I'm being honest, I don't think it's even a point, because I don't think we can take Barcelona's young players like that. I think if they let go of Gavi, Pedri, all these young players, then I have no idea what the hell they're doing, because they literally, as a club, are such a mess. The only thing they can do is build for the future. So I don't think it's even really a thing. I don't think it's a link. I don't think it's a possibility. I don't think it's there. I'm pretty sure they just signed Pedri and Gavi to new deals with stupid release clauses. If they haven't, they will do.
That's like super common in Spain, I feel like, as well, to have like a release clause that's like not
ridiculous.
Not even realistic at all. I don't know why. I guess it's just to put people off from like ever trying to buy this player at all.
Yeah. So, look, Chelsea have got enough midfielders. They've got midfield targets. He's not one of them. They've got DMs that they're looking at. They've got Gallagher. They've got Mount. They've got all these young midfielders that they're going to want to use. So it's not even a possibility.
Yeah. Totally agree, Matisse. I'm just going through the comments. I'm like a little bit behind because I tried to like do it while we're chatting, but then we switched topics. Neil says PSG plays individuals, so they have no chance of winning the Champions League. I wouldn't say no chance, but I didn't ask you. Well, I did ask you who your favorite. You said it's high. I don't know why. Like my gut is telling me Real Madrid. I don't know if it's because I'm in Madrid and it's like.
In terms of who will win this game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm going Real Madrid, 100%.
You're going 100%. Real Madrid.
Oh yeah, 100%. In terms of who will win, not the game.
Even though it's away.
So for the game, I'll probably go with draw, but for the tie, I'll go Real Madrid. That's the way I see it. I think they'll take I think they'll take a draw in Paris, and I think they'll beat them at the Bernabeu. But I'm definitely going with Real Madrid to win the tie. Because PSG they're not as good as a team, to be fair, than Real Madrid. Yeah. Who are you going with? You're not sure?
My heart is telling me Real Madrid, and I even bet that they could potentially win this game. Like, I don't know why.
It could. They really could, yeah.
I think it's going to come down to like who wins the midfield, because we know like Real Madrid's midfield is super strong, but PSG can also have a strong midfield, especially if Verratti's on game. But also like if who pulls like a moment of brilliance, and maybe we see a couple, because the thing is like even if these players aren't having good games, they're all capable of just doing something that could completely change the game.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, I can't believe that this happened. So I think that's why it's so hard to predict, because I feel like anything is possible in this game.
That's why I went with a 2-2 and I just bailed, you know.
I went for 2-1 to Madrid.
Okay.
Who's gonna score.
That's ballsy. I like that. That's a good prediction.
You know what I said, Matisse? I was like, it's not my team, so I'm just not gonna predict a draw. I'm just gonna go for a win for somebody because I have nothing to lose. Like,
are you gonna try and go to the reverse game? Is that a possibility for you?
I could. Oh, that would be brilliant, actually.
That would be an incredible vlog, I must say, Ellie. People will
That's actually a really good idea. The thing, I'm going to Atletico Man United next week. Because Kendall's, she's a season ticket holder, and so she couldn't get me a ticket because she could only buy one, but she was able to get me a discount. So
great, yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah, definitely.
So it's still expensive for a football match, but it's not like the end of the world because the discount does help. But for the Atletico game, I'm literally like in the highest tier, like the 400s, the last seat, the last row. Like I think I got one of the last seats, and I also didn't know how when I went to buy the ticket, it was saying like this seat is available. I was like, okay, I go, and it says like look for a green seat, and then there were no green seats in the photo, and I was like, what the heck, why can't I do anything, why can't I touch anything? And it was like people were picking them up and I didn't realize.
So you got to be fast.
So now I'm ready. I'm ready.
You're ready to war.
I'm ready. Yeah. But yeah, that would be so cool. I hadn't thought about it. It's crazy. Like every single person that I meet, like they're not football fan here.
Yeah.
And I asked them like, "Oh, you like football?" No. Every person that I've met here.
Wow, surprising.
I don't know what it is. And I'm like, I'm just looking for somebody to go to the game with. Like
If you do go Bernabeu PSG though, that would be a ridiculous
I
sight.
haven't been to the
Yeah,
Bernabeu.
I would definitely I would give it a go.
Let's see.
Like,
Why don't you come? Come
see,
to
nah,
Madrid.
I can't come.
Come. Yes. Come to Madrid.
I need to try. You know how we say you got to dominate your home before you go abroad. That's what I'm on right now. I've got so much madness trying to sort out with my own content at home. It's to go abroad would be to do content. It's just a myth.
No,
maybe
you just
maybe
come.
next season. Maybe
You
next
take
season.
just do like, it doesn't even have to be a weekend trip. It can just be like a Sunday, like a Monday.
Look at you trying to convince me.
Type thing. Yeah, and the flights are going to be cheaper because it's going to be like, who's flying on a Monday? Like,
we are the little horse, as Mourinho would say. We are the little horse, and these things that you're talking about, they're the big horse. This is the Liverpool and City. We are the little horse. We need to be, looked after, fed, and then next season. See, I almost got the quote spot on next.
Oh, this is so funny. AJ is saying 2 trips, 2 months. Come on, team.
You man are mad. If I go anywhere, it'll be like Poland, because Poland's mad cheap. I know Spain ain't cheap. I've been to Spain. I've been to Spain. Hey, Spain's not as cheap as Poland. Poland is the cheapest that you can get.
Okay, yeah. But Madrid, I
cheap.
literally eat breakfast for like 2 or 3 euros. It's so cheap.
Really? I was in Barcelona, but that was a while ago, to be fair.
Okay, so if I take you to the places that aren't touristy and it's actually reasonably priced.
Next season.
For real, you eat 5 to 10 euros a meal max.
I'm telling you,
that's all you need.
But I'm telling you next season. But now imagine if we got one of the Madrid teams in the Champions League. Now maybe the conversation would be completely different, because that would be
fine. I will hold you to that.
Then
I'm gonna call up UEFA.
Content wise, it would be more worth it for me, because I know then it's guaranteed success. Whereas if I just do a game that like it's not Chelsea related, I would be taking a little bit of a more of a risk. So
that makes sense. That's why I'm trying to do different sorts of content on my channel, because I want to be able to do like,
definitely.
Like take advantage of the fact that I'm in Spain and that there's like Atletico and Real Madrid like right here.
100%.
Yeah, everybody's like getting us on. Are you going to any games like anytime soon?
Not anytime soon. No. I'm in studio for Palace, which is good. I'm looking forward to that. I was doing basically it's YouTube's version of the Saturday show where they cover all the 3 p.m. kickoffs. So I'm on that panel. So it's good because I get to speak about other teams. Obviously, Chelsea are playing 3 p.m. It's not live in the UK anyway.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm going to be in studio talking about that on Don Robbie. So I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, I'm more looking to do content right now and focus on that for the rest of the season and go on hopefully a nice little run. Because in the summer, it's a whole different ball game than next season. I'm gonna be on a whole. I got to be on a whole nother thing. It's gonna be mad. World Cup as well. So I got to prep. I got to hit targets.
I really wish that the World Cup was in the summer so that we would just like not have that summer break. But now it's going to be like December's already mad for content.
Yeah.
And now it's just going to be crazier.
Even mad, even worse. Yeah. It's going to be crazy. Yeah. Yeah.
The draw. Did you see that the draw, I think, is happening April 1st?
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Okay.
I don't know. I saw like a draw is happening. I'm not sure if it's the draw.
Okay.
Because Grant Wall tweeted it. I had him on the channel. He obviously covers like a lot of the UN's national team. So I don't know if it's like just maybe like that side. But I thought I read that. So guys, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm just doing shit and like making things up, or if I read it wrong. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm hoping that the US qualify. It's getting a little tight.
It is. But you guys should qualify. I think your last game is against Is it Paloma or something? So yeah, you should.
Yeah, we have like right now we're third, but like I think Panama and I think maybe Costa Rica are starting to like close the gap a little bit. So I'm a little nervous. I'm a little bit nervous, not going to lie.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about the Lille game next week?
I'm confident. Lille, are not as good as they were last season as to why they're in this competition in the first place. Obviously, they won the league. Then their manager left. He's now at Nice. So they're not as strong as they were last year. So yeah, we should be taking care of Lille. It's a great draw. No disrespect to them, it's a great draw. And if we can't take care of Lille home and away, then yeah, my earlier statement about us struggling in the Champions League, that's going to a whole new level if we struggle against Lille. So we need to beat them. Yeah, we need to try and beat them.
Matisse. I'm nervous because I feel like we haven't been playing well, you know? Like
we haven't.
I feel like we've been grinding out results, and to grind out results like in a cup, it makes sense. And obviously Champions League, you know, you do have to grind out results to a certain point. But like last year, even though we weren't scoring goals, I felt that we dominated the game. And I was like, oh, I hope that we don't concede a stupid goal because we've really been dominating. But this year, I don't feel like we've been dominating. I just feel like we've kind of been like getting by, and then like we will maybe get the result, but it's not been like nearly as convincing.
Yeah, I'm hoping they're just getting up to speed with that 2-week break. They're just dusting off the cobwebs. They've been pretty.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, the Plymouth game wasn't great. The Al Hilal game wasn't great. I think Palmer's was better. So I think hopefully it's just every time it just keeps getting better. Palace will be a big indicator. Obviously, we got them on Saturday, and we got a good record against Palace. Pulisic tends to turn up. Kai. We tend to have a good game against Palace, so we'll see how we play against them. If it should be a much better performance considering we have a whole week now to rest and recuperate, which is nice because obviously we had a lot of travel to Abu Dhabi and whatnot. So yeah, hopefully, but yeah, we do need the performances to be better because it's never sustainable to keep playing poorly and winning games. It's always short term.
Yep. No, totally. And I kind of raised this at the beginning of the season. Like we were winning games, but our defenders were scoring a lot of goals. And I was like, that's amazing that they're scoring goals. And I don't want to be negative, but we also want our attackers to score goals because you can't rely on your defenders to always score. And then Ben and Reese got injured. I'm looking, it seems like the lineups are already out. I don't know why I thought it would be exactly an hour.
Sometimes they just put them out earlier. Some of these
and this one that I'm seeing from Real Madrid English, I'm trying to find like Real Madrid. Okay, in Spain. Yeah, it was out an hour ago, which is 2 hours before the game, which I find like very early.
Where what they put them out on Twitter or
on Twitter? Yeah.
What?
So guys, in case you haven't seen it, I'm pulling this up on my phone now. Real Madrid starting 11. Benzema is back. It's Courtois, Carvajal, Militao, Alaba, Cruz, Benzema, Modric, Asensio, Casemiro, Vinicius Jr., and Mendy. And Hazard's on the bench. I mean, to be expected.
Yeah.
I mean, this is basically the team that I expected.
Strong team. Yeah, it's what you would expect from Real Madrid to be a strong team. It's a lot of superstars on that pitch. I hope it now doesn't disappoint and we get like a boring 0-0 or something where they just cage each other out. That would be mad disappointing. That's the only thing I'm trying to avoid.
I know. Could you imagine?
I can. Yeah. Oh, I can. I've already kind of mentally prepared myself for an anti-climax. You know, when you get so excited about these kind of games and then it just doesn't pan out the way that you would have hoped, because obviously it's just everything, the build up is just too much and then it just disappoints. So I'm trying to bear that in mind that could happen, but hopefully not.
I can't find, does anybody have the PSG starting 11? Because I can't find it. I found Real
They might
Madrid.
not have put it out. They might not have put it out because, like you said, it's a bit early, isn't it, to put out a lineup? So I don't know why Real Madrid have gone so early, but maybe PSG are just.
I have this app called FootMob.
Oh yeah, I've just downloaded it.
I don't know how to pronounce it. I really like it. It's what I used to check like all of the scores, and then it gives you stats as well. I really like it. They do have like a lineup out, and it doesn't say predicted. So I'll give you this lineup, but it hasn't been confirmed by PSG's official Twitter. Just FYI, it's Donnarumma, Hakimi, Marquinhos, Kimpembe, Mendes, Pereira, Paredes, Verratti, Messi, Mbappe, Di Maria. So if this is the case, then Neymar isn't starting.
which would
But like I
probably,
said, take it with a pinch of salt
yeah,
until
until it gets
until
confirmed.
PSG confirms.
Ellie's not confirming that.
I'm not I'm not confirming that. No. Uh Saha just put it in the comments as well. It's the same one that I said. So let's see if that's the case. I wasn't expecting Neymar to start because of the injury. I would have at least been pretty surprised if he had started.
Yeah.
Maybe he comes off as a super sub. But I think like the interesting thing is like both. Well, Neymar hasn't played since like November. I think he's been not injured. So it would be pretty crazy to just like throw him
Throw
back
him in.
into a game in the Champions League against Real Madrid as his first game back. And I think I think they said that he was even like fighting for fitness, that it was like a miracle that he could even like potentially
Make the
be in
bench.
contention
Yeah.
for this game. Yeah. So I'm not surprised that he didn't
The
start.
second leg's there as well. You know, you gotta make sure that he's ready for the second leg, because that will be the decider. So
What do you think about there not being any away goals?
it's going to be weird because I've always liked away goals personally. I think it makes the team away from home come out of their shell even more, and that just makes for a better game because the team at home is still under pressure to perform in front of their crowd. But now that there's no away goals, I'm just worried if away teams will be a bit more defensive and it will be a bit more traditional. So we'll see how it goes. But I personally liked it the way it was. So I'm not really sure if it's a great move.
And if it's still tied after the second leg, what does it do? Go to like overtime?
Just go straight to extra time, yeah, I guess. And there's no away goals, so every draw is equal now. You know, so you don't get a reward for scoring more away from home, which I personally think you should, but it is what it is. Yeah, it's mad.
I don't know how I feel about it. Like
We're not
because
gonna know
sometimes,
until we see it, isn't it? When we
yeah,
watch it,
because
yeah.
yeah, because sometimes you feel like, oh, that sucks for that team because I feel like they placed better or whatever because of the away goals. But then other times you think like, I don't know, makes sense.
Yeah. UEFA have confirmed that team there in the chat. I think.
Oh, they did. Nice.
Apparently.
So I wasn't spewing like bullocks in the channel.
Oh well, apparently that team confirmed by UEFA has got Neymar in it, but
oh my god. Okay, so I
I don't know.
Yeah, this is confirmed by UEFA. I'm just gonna see if on Twitter, guys, that I can find if I look up like UEFA.
People are giving different lineups, so I'm not sure.
UEFA Champions League. If there's anything. No, I don't see anything. Yeah, I guess we should find out in 7 minutes maximum. I assume that PSG will put it out. And I was really surprised when I saw it on Real Madrid's Twitter. Like, did they actually put out this like 2 hours before? Like, that's mad.
I'm not sure. It's weird. It's way too early. Usually it would be coming out in 7 minutes.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Thanks for the shout out. I appreciate it. We have this show every single week at this time, 6 p.m. UK time, every Tuesday. So in case you missed it, it's here every week. You can set a reminder, and I usually create the thumbnail like the day of. But yeah, we do this every week, and it's awesome. Yeah, feel free, guys, to ask us any questions that you have. I kind of want to wait on here just to see
The lineup.
I want to see the lineup like while we're live.
I think you'll see it officially drop at 7. To be honest, PSG. I mean, PSG's Twitter should be dropping it at 7. You'd assume.
I would assume so, guys. AJ says PSG posted their lineup now on Twitter. No Neymar starting. I'm on their Twitter. I don't see anything. Oh wait, is it Match Center? No, it's not this. Oh wait, here. Oh, I see it now. It's a video instead of a photo, which is totally throwing me off. And I'm at the defenders, so I'm going to wait a second to confirm for you guys. But probably no Neymar if you've already seen it, AJ. Yeah, it's in the video. Neymar, yeah. Ali says Neymar's on the bench. Okay, so
okay,
confirmed. Neymar is on the bench. Oh, here, I've got it. Yeah, he's made to the bench. Interesting. I'm so excited for this match. What other matches are there going on today?
Just
Let's
one of
see.
us. Sporting
Sporting.
versus City is the only other game, and obviously Man United, Brighton, the Premier League as well. That's the
Forgot
only.
United are playing Brighton. You know, for FPL, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, bring in United defense," and I was like, "I'm staying away. I don't think they're keeping clean sheets," and they
No,
haven't. They didn't keep a clean sheet. And
their
tomorrow,
defense is awful.
yeah, that's why I didn't bring them in. If anybody plays FPL, that's why, because I was like, I don't want them long term, and I really don't see them keeping a clean sheet. So I'm just gonna stick with my defense. Tomorrow, Champions League, quickly, Matisse, Inter Liverpool. I think that's also like a pretty underrated game.
I'll be watching that. Yeah, 100%.
Like, because I feel like Real Madrid, PSG, Real Madrid is like taking all of the spotlight, but that's also going to be a really good game as well.
Yeah, and I still believe Liverpool win it, because I think that the intensity that Liverpool will play at will just be too much for Inter. So I still do expect Liverpool to win both legs. But in saying that, it should, I mean, hopefully Inter Milan make it a good game. You know, they should do. They're still a big team in Italy. They've still got good ballers in the midfield with like Barella and players like that. Edin Dzeko up front, who's been in good form this season as well. So they got a good enough team to make it a fight. But I just think Liverpool will overpower them, and the pace and the tempo and the intensity that they play at, especially with the new signings that they made in January, of Diaz and just refreshing the attack again. I just think that'll be too much for them, to be honest. What do you think with that fixture?
Yeah, I mean, I have to like lean towards Liverpool, but Inter, I mean, they even without Lukaku, I still feel like they're a strong team. They're currently second in Serie A, but they also have a game in hand, and they're just 1 point behind AC Milan. So if they win that game, they go ahead. So they are fighting with AC Milan for the title. So we're talking about like probably or possibly title winners in Serie A, and Liverpool is just so freaking dominant. I would love to see Inter win it, just because like I feel like Liverpool, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like they always get pretty far in the competition,
I
and I
know what
would
you
love to
mean.
see like an
Yeah.
underdog win.
Yeah, of course. I would want Inter to win as well, because then Liverpool focus more on the Premier League, and I want Liverpool to get ahead of City. So
You
hopefully,
reckon that Liverpool can realistically get ahead of City with the amount of gap, like
if
points
they
gap that they have?
win their game in hand, they'll be 6 points behind. So it's still doable, but they can't
Only
afford to
six
drop.
points behind
Yeah,
if
only
they win
six.
their
But
game in hand?
yeah, if they win their game in hand, but they can't afford to drop any more points though. They can't. If they drop points again, then I think City will wrap it up. But if they stay within that 6 points, then I think it's still, they're still within touching distance. And especially if they, because we all know City are under pressure to win the Champions League, not as much as PSG, but probably just after PSG in terms of pressure, because they've never won it. So I'd say their mind could go a bit wayward as well with the Premier League, and they might put themselves under pressure if Liverpool were to get knocked out early and just fully go Premier League only. It would be wild.
I mean, I think I would like care less if City won the league, just because they always win it. But it's like, part of me is just like, I just want somebody else to win it. Like, if it's
Yeah.
not going to be us, I just find it like boring if it's the same person, like the same team every
Yeah.
single year, and there has been competition, but it's really been like Liverpool and City. So hopefully next year we can close the gap. We do have a question here. Who do you think are the favorites to win the UCL this year? And I don't know if you saw that thing on Twitter that was like a percentage that said like the team likely to win the Champions League, and Chelsea had like 10% chance, and then
I actually
Ajax
didn't.
was
Oh, Ajax were above us. Yeah, that was stupid. Favorite. I've surprisingly, I haven't actually thought about this. My favorite would probably be, I'd say probably City. I think City have to. Yeah, I'd say City, and then maybe Bayern Munich just after them. But I think City and then Bayern and Real Madrid, I'd say as a close second. But I think City have to be favourites. They were in the final last year. Probably the best team out there right now. Deep squad. Yeah, I'd say City. What about you? What do you think?
Yeah, probably. I don't want to see the Premier League team. Like, I really don't. I'm just gonna say Real Madrid because I live here.
Yeah.
And because I
And
don't
the
want
only
to.
reason why I say not Real Madrid is because they got a tough tie against PSG, isn't it? So it's like they're not
Yeah,
guaranteed to
that's
get through. Where
true.
City are
Okay,
definitely getting through against Lisbon.
if Real Madrid get through this tie, then I'm going to say Real Madrid. That's what I'm gonna say.
Fair enough.
No, but I could totally see City winning. The thing is that I do feel that Pep like tends to overthink the tactics in the Champions League for whatever reason. We saw it against Chelsea, and I feel like every year they kind of like something happens. And even though I do think that they're probably right now the best team in the world, but I don't know. It feels like with this, they like know how much is at stake, and they tend to overthink it. And even despite their dominance,
At some point, he's got to stop doing that though and learn. And I think you'd expect it to be very soon in the next few years. He learns that and doesn't do that again because it's just so unnecessary. Someone saying your favorite should be Chelsea. I mean, if I was on crack,
my favorite team is Chelsea, but being rational, we don't have the best squads, so
nah.
sorry.
I'd prefer us to just be the underdogs, and that's what we are anyway. So yeah, we're not favorites with Chilwell injured. I'm afraid, no chance.
No, if Chilwell, like I've been saying, like literally entire stream and for weeks and months and whatever, if Chilwell and Reece weren't injured, then yeah, throw us into the mix. But I just don't feel that we've been putting in good enough performances without them, and I don't think that we've really like we just have such a big weakness is on that left hand side without him, and then Lukaku hasn't been clicking. So there's that piece. There's just like a couple of things that like aren't really aligning for Chelsea. David says Bayern versus City, who would win in your opinion? Those are
It's
probably
50-50.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm going. That's such a 50-50 game. There's no. I couldn't predict that. It depends on all the factors that are important in a football match: preparation, injuries, everything. Like that is as close as it gets in terms of fixtures, in my opinion. That Bayern, City, Real Madrid, those three coming up against each other is as close as it gets right now in European football.
Yeah. Oh my god. I like Loki wanted to draw a Madrid team because for content it would be incredible. But I'm also very nervous about it. Maybe Atletico because they haven't been playing well. If they can beat Manchester United, maybe we can play them. That would be awesome. AJ says even last year my favorite was the yeah. I did not expect us to win at all, especially when we drew Atletico. I was like, I don't know if we're gonna make it out of the rounds of 16 again. Like I really don't know. They went on to win the league, so they were a fantastic side.
Yeah.
People like downplay that, but it was crazy that we beat them when we dominated them. And then when we drew Real Madrid, I was like, oh gods. Remember I posted that picture on Twitter and I was like crying because I was so happy that we made it to the Champions League final. I don't know if you remember. It came up on my camera roll the other day and it was like, oh my god.
We got the nice side of the draw though. I was happy with our side. As soon as the quarters and the semis was drawn, I was like, happy, man. I remember that Porto and Real Madrid or Liverpool. I was happy with that.
Yeah, I don't remember which way it could have gone, but I remember being very happy that we avoided Bayern.
Yeah, the other side was PSG or Bayern Munich. So
yeah. So we did get the more favorable side. Z says most must watch match. That's a tongue twister. Atleti United. I'm going to the game. I'm so excited. I'm not used to being out so late, guys. Like I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Oh really?
Like the game, it starts at like 9 p.m. Or maybe since it takes place here, maybe they'll start it at 8. No, I doubt it.
No, they won't.
Nope.
That's not how it's gonna work.
Yeah, that's not how it works, right? I think it's at 9.
Yeah, it would be 9 your time, 8 our time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's at 9. Okay. I'm spewing shit again.
Unlucky. But that's I mean, yeah.
I'm literally such a homebody. Like
yeah, that's what I was about to say. You must be, isn't it? Because 9.
I love being like tucked in bed by like 11.
Not this time. Not this time. But it'll be a great experience. The atmosphere is gonna be nuts as well.
On a Wednesday night, Matisse, wild time.
It's gonna be wild, and you got work the next day. See, this is what we're talking about. Crazy.
I know. It is gonna be crazy. I actually went to the Wanda the like weekend before everything shut down. Like we went on like a Sunday, and then everything shut down on like that Wednesday.
Mm.
It was mad. So I haven't been to the Wanda since before the pandemic, which is pretty crazy. It was like my last experience. So it's gonna be pretty cool to go back. I'm gonna be sat by myself. So if you guys know anybody who's going, let me know. But yeah.
No Kendall. Oh no, of course not. No, maybe not.
No, well, she's coming to the game actually, but she has like really good tickets.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah, so
And
she's
she could
sitting
only buy
very far.
one, so she's also gonna be by herself. And I was like,
Oh,
no
right.
one's gonna
Okay.
want to trade to me for like a seat 400 for a seat 100.
Yeah,
Like,
fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, that's true.
I was absolutely not. But guys, I think I'm gonna start closing out. We've been chatting for an hour, which is absolutely mad. I'm like super close to 11K. So if you're watching, please subscribe because it would mean the world to finally hit 11K. Honestly, bless you.
Cute.
And
Managed
make
to
sure
mute
to
myself in time.
make sure to subscribe to Matisse as well. He posts a lot of content. He's also on Twitch, but Matisse, I'll let you plug as well, whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely subscribe. We just put out a video with George Benson there today, on my channel and his channel, so a double collab there. It's good. Weekly shows are back from tomorrow and Thursday on YouTube. London Clubs Carnage been away for 2 weeks, so it's going to be madness when we come back there tomorrow. And yeah, Twitch is daily, so definitely follow on Twitch. We're doing loads of shows as well. So yeah, big up. Appreciate everybody watching, and make sure to subscribe to Eddie, man. Let's get her to 11K. Hurry up and get her to 11K, man. Stop playing games.
Yeah, please stop playing games, guys. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed this stream. Let me know in the comments what your score prediction is, and yeah, we'll see the game in an hour. I'm so excited. Bye.